What's up with y'all? Welcome back to another reaction video. I'm Ende.
And I'm Ollie.
Today we got...
Police discover a killer's hidden torture forest. How do you turn a whole forest into a torture den?
He's generational.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He's a generational killer. He gotta be. This nigga is like Slender Man or something.
Well, that shit is so scary.
That's next level.
I'm already scared, bro. We haven't even started the video.
Right? You better lock in. Let's do it.
Okay.
Lock it. Look, I hope all y'all that's watching this video is taking care of yourselves. Let's get into the video.
Oh shit. SO389 dispatch. I've located the body. The scene's about 50 yards on a trail.
This lone cop just discovered a dead body in the middle of the woods.
What is that? Sounds like it's heading this way. I feel some knife up the top of the body, carving the blood of the place. 10-4.
I'd have my gun out.
Please send another unit to my location.
What he doesn't know yet is that the lifeless man in front of him has been tortured for hours by the twisted man hiding in this very forest.
Whoever did this, that's fresh. There's a little eyeball right here.
I gotta say one thing before we really get into it. That cop is fucking wild for going into the forest by himself. He went into the forest by himself with no backup. Just like, all right, fuck, let me go into the forest.
I don't think he was by himself.
Nah, he was by himself at the beginning.
I don't think he was.
He was.
I don't think so.
He was. What you want to put on the line? You gotta make me spaghetti tomorrow.
SO389 dispatch.
Yeah, you talking to him?
Located the body. The scene's about 50 yards on a trail.
This lone cop just discovered a dead body in the middle of the woods.
He got balls of steel.
The lifeless man in front of him has been tortured for hours by the twisted man hiding in this very forest.
Whoever did this, that's fresh. There's a little eyeball right here. That's some creepy shit right here. Smell this right here. You don't smell gas right here? Yeah. Think they're gonna torch him?
I'm not sure what it is, but I've got movement east of my location in the woods. There's something moving around back this way.
He carries 3 or 4 knives on him. He thinks he's Rambo.
You're what? I'm just like a god.
Oh my god, who is this? Bro, he tripping.
It's December 23rd, 2022, and Officer Azure has just received a 911 call from a distraught man reporting that he's found his best friend's lifeless body in the middle of the Lake Jackson forest. Officer Azure, along with a group of first responders, quickly arrive at the scene.
That's my friend, man.
Okay, y'all stay right there.
That's
Here
fucked
they
up.
encounter Jamie, the 911 caller, and his best friend Robert, both of whom urgently want to show the officer where their dead friend is. Considering the serious circumstances, Officer Azure decides to follow Robert into the forest despite being alone.
389, I'm 1012.
I told you he wasn't by himself.
Okay, but
He said the body, not a body.
I'm okay. You right.
So you making me spaghetti now tomorrow?
Okay, but technically, bro. Okay, he did look, bro. But look who he's with. He might as well be alone. Bro, come on. He might as well be alone.
That don't
Look
matter.
at him drinking a Bud Light. All right, it might be a Powerade, but still, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Me?
No, he got a can.
You make me spaghetti tomorrow. Press play.
He was basically alone, right?
I'll take that and take a look. 361, if you want to come down in 56 with the EMS in the back, I'm headed down to the scene.
Look at who he with.
Okay.
You don't.
Hillbilly. No, that's messed up. I'm not gonna say that. We don't know the story yet.
That could be your grandpa. Stop it.
Yeah.
Knife was laying on the ground. There's no blood on it.
Did you touch the knife?
I did pick up the knife.
Okay. Well, we're
No.
going to get fingerprints from you, okay?
No problem. I walked by the tarp, and you couldn't see James.
Okay.
And then Alan walked by the tarp and goes, "What's that?" And he picked the tarp up with his stickies on his hand, and James was laying there face down, and I dropped the knife and we left.
Okay.
Damn.
All right. Well, we're going to need to get a very detailed statement from you, okay? Just
Damn, I would
because-
at least check if my friend was
Well, the
okay.
thing is,
I mean, I
I'm
know
not
they say
accusing
he's
you of
dead, but like,
anything
I would
that
have to
has
make
be
sure
ruled out.
myself.
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
At this point, the officer can't yet confirm Robert's story, but with a dead body reported, he has no choice but to push deeper into the woods. However, alone with a suspicious man he's just met and a killer who could be lurking nearby, the officer knows he must proceed with extreme caution.
You just hang on down right here for me, okay? Let me get up there and take a look. Which one?
There. Right here, plenty.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then please look in that back tent, please.
All right.
Why'd they send one officer though? They should have sent
Where's
like
the
the whole
knife?
team.
Yeah.
Like the body retrieval and all that.
Okay.
Investigators.
Okay. Just hang out there for me, okay?
Jamie was telling the truth. Wrapped inside the tarp is the body of James Leidendecker. He's lying naked in a pool of his own blood, covered in cuts and scrapes. Realizing the severity of the situation, Officer Azure immediately instructs Jamie to head back while he investigates further. That's when Officer Azure begins to hear some unsettling noises.
I'm not sure if it's a person or I'm not sure what it is, but I've got movement east of my location. And
Oh, hell
sounds
no.
Like it's heading this way.
I would have just started shooting.
You can't do that.
I would have. Talking about you hear movement coming your way.
Fortunately for Officer Azure, backup arrived just in time, providing some relief from whatever might have been lurking in the forest.
Damn.
There's nothing for y'all to check. He's cold to the touch. All right,
Bro, it's crazy how like this cop right here was like cool, calm, and collected when he had every reason. I mean, of course, if you're a cop, bro, you're supposed to be like, you're supposed to be basically made for situations like this. But some cops aren't, like the cop that fucking freaked out when the acorn dropped and he started shooting. Boo, 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 boo. Bro, his ass talking about, I'm hit, back up. That shit was actually the craziest video I've ever seen from a cop. Like,
I'm hit
that shit
crazy.
That shit was ass over an acorn. Imagine how he would have, him in this situation, bro, nigga, he just would have let all shots into the forest. My nigga said I'm hit over an acorn.
Like, bro, they just make anybody cops nowadays.
No,
what was that?
Bro, I literally watched that video like, bro, that might be my favorite video, bro. That shit was so funny.
Knife right here, body here, tents, whole camp spread up back here. We've also got one outstanding.
What the hell are you talking about?
There's 2 people who live in this camp.
And one's not here?
And one's outstanding at the moment.
Did you find the knife?
Yeah.
I got a knife right here.
They live in the camp?
Well, there's something right there. But, hey, did you still got those 2 guys 10-12 up front?
Yeah, they're standing there waiting for us.
Good, because one that led me back touched the knife. So we need to get his prints and a statement off him. The other one touched the tarp. They found out what was going on and they took off. I checked the camp and he's the only one back here.
Well, I got the name of the person that he was arguing with at 5 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so, and I've got what looks like maybe his clothes right over there. So he's naked and there's some clothes right there on the fire.
As medical staff arrives and examines the body more closely, they observe a brutal manner of death, blunt force trauma to the head, strangulation, and something even more disturbing, gasoline, found in James's lungs and stomach.
What the
Detectives
fuck?
are left with a burning question. Why would a victim have gasoline inside him? However,
That's crazy.
This would be only one of the many disturbing details officers uncover at the scene.
Hey, Seth, take a look at this for me. What is that? Is that just soot weared off on that, or? I mean, it looks awful shiny.
Where he has been stacked, just from what I can see. But he is butt naked, face down on the tarp with his upper torso covered, so it's definitely not.
I would be so pissed if somebody killed me and left my body like that.
Somebody put him here.
This is a crazy way to, like, damn.
So I don't know what his face looks like. If he was stabbed in the neck or the face, The blood may be hidden by the tarp. I'm not seeing any obvious blood. Apparently the witness picked up the knife, and the knife has like a rope string around it. There's blood on it. Yeah, the tarp's brown, but there's blood all over the tarp, like blood splatter.
It looks like, I mean, he was moved post-mortem. You can tell by the way he was dragged.
Oh, he's got his fucking leaf in his ass crack. Yeah. That's hollow down below, you see that? Yeah.
That's exactly why I just said what I said.
This is the one
Over here, cracking jokes.
Fucking nuts. Artistic.
What?
So yes. Oh, yeah, they cut that with a chainsaw, right? And it looks like
That is crazy.
yeah.
It's an Odin?
By now, officers were certain they had a murder on their hands. The injuries to the body, the bloody knife, and the presence of gasoline all point to one thing. This wasn't just a killing, but a calculated act where the victim had likely been tortured for hours.
Damn.
With this in mind, officers would return to question Jamie, the man who had originally called 911, and what Jamie reveals would soon lead investigators directly to the killer. But before we continue, it's worth noting that tragedies like these could affect any of us. Take Yvette Torres. She was walking home from work in Philadelphia when a truck struck her without warning. Morgan and Morgan fought for her in court and won her nearly $12 million.
He going crazy. Get your Morgan and Morgans. Yeah, you get your Morgan and Morgans. You get hit by a truck, get your Morgan and Morgans.
They put in the commercials as the
Investigation. Officers were about to speak again with Jamie, one of the eyewitnesses, and he would provide them with their biggest lead yet.
So I heard arguing and stuff. So I go through the woods, go to this camp.
Mm-hmm. So you
I
left.
walk back to the camp because, you know, homeless people argue all the time about dumb shit. It's been a while now, and I haven't heard anything from James or anybody over there. So I go over there to me and my friend that's with Officer now. Mm-hmm. Go over there, right? So when I walk, get to a certain point, I see a tarp laying there beside this tree, which is never there. I flip
and inside
over the tarp is I don't even know if it's James or.
All right. Well, we're gonna get it figured out, okay? Do you know James' last name?
Do
you know James' last name?
No, ma'am.
No.
I'm talking about the person who did this, because I know who it is. Dusty McDonald. It lives right up. He just got the complaint this morning. Man come down there with a hatchet, threatening, chopping shit up. Called it in, sheriff's department. They come over, they talked to him, they told him that they're gonna go over and talk to him to stay away.
And James is the one who called.
No, ma'am.
Who called this morning? Rick. Okay. Do you know
Rick
Rick's
is
last
the one
name?
who stays there.
Okay.
No, ma'am, but Rick is
Why
the
they
one
got
who stays
mugshots?
there. James is a friend of everybody's, but
So
he was
I should be
staying
able
up
to
there with
find out
Dusty.
by his name.
According to Jamie, a man named Dusty McDonald had attacked another man, Rick,
He looks
with a
like my
hatchet
coworker.
earlier that day. Police were called, but were unable to locate or confront Dusty at the time. While this incident was concerning, it wasn't enough on its own to
I'd be
establish
so
Dusty as a primary
pissed.
suspect. Until nearly every witness interviewed pointed to him as well. Eventually, officers had gathered enough statements to justify bringing Dusty in for questioning. All they needed now was to find him.
I'd be so pissed with a name like
As
Dusty
police began
McDonald.
searching for
That's
Dusty,
crazy.
other officers on scene would sit down with the two
a
911
crazy
callers to piece together a timeline. According to them, the day had started with unsettling signs that something was off.
We both went down there. We live right here. We wanted to go check on our friend. He's wrapped up in a tarp.
Okay.
Sir,
We came back
I
and
heard
talked.
arguing earlier, right?
We know who was down there, sir.
Arguing.
Okay.
So I walked down through the woods. I seen Dusty have James on the ground. He was saying, you shouldn't talk shit about this and that. You know what I'm saying? I heard, like, oh, they just getting shit up, you know what I mean? But I never hear nothing from over there no more. I'm like,
Damn.
Dusty's real name or?
Dusty McDonald.
Did you say that James called them today and said, hey,
Nope, Rick.
oh, Rick called.
Rick.
And said,
James was there.
when
Both
Dusty
of
went
us
over there
there.
and cut his tent with
Cut
a
him up,
machete.
threatened with a machete,
Yeah.
cut his tin up,
Yep.
all kind of shit.
They called the police. I was
Yep,
there.
called the police, made a report, and the police just said, stay away from it. There's a tarp laying beside a tree.
What?
It's never there because I live here. And I took the stick and went. When I flipped it up, I seen legs.
Based on these
Damn.
witness accounts, officers now have a fairly detailed picture of what likely unfolded just hours earlier. They also have a lead suspect, Dusty McDonald, a name one of the officers happened to be familiar with.
I think they already brought up his name, but Dustin McCormick.
Yeah, Dusty.
Dusty,
Yeah, so
supposedly general and some militia come down there this morning with a machete and started hacking up some of the tents so he wanted to clear the area. Said he's signal 20 and off his meds.
they said Dusty. They said Dusty's the one that's outstanding. Yeah, they said this guy Dusty left from over here like later in the evening.
By now, it was clear Dusty had likely been involved in the murder, and with Jamie and Robert's statements in hand, police began piecing together the sequence of events leading up to the brutal killing. Earlier that day, Rick, another man who lived at the camps, had called 911 claiming a Dusty McDonald had slashed his tent with a machete while searching for a man named James, even threatening him in the process. Later that afternoon, Dusty managed to find James, and witnesses reported hearing arguing from the camp. When they checked to see what was going on, they saw Dusty on top of James, wrestling and yelling. It didn't appear to be anything more than a heated argument, so they returned to their camp. However, hours would pass, and nobody had heard from James. Robert and Jamie began to worry and decided to go looking for him, and that's when they found a blue tarp covering James's lifeless body.
Damn.
Nearly all witness accounts lined up perfectly with this timeline of events, making the next step for officers clear: arrest Dusty and bring him in for interrogation.
Why was he naked and shit with
Fortunately, since
gasoline in
officers
his
had
body,
begun the
though?
work of locating him earlier that day, they already had Dusty's address. Soon after, they surrounded the house, ready to move in.
I don't know if that's him, but there's somebody.
You think Dusty did it?
Sheriff officer, put a knife down, man. Come on out. Come on out. Come on out.
I don't have anything in my hands.
Come on.
Please, I don't have anything in my hands.
Come on out.
I'm right here, sir.
Come on out.
Dude, I'm right here.
Dusty.
Okay. Dude, yeah.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Dude, the man just trying to light me on fire, dude. Y'all know what happened down there. That man tried to
What'd he
light me
say?
on fire, man.
Oh.
It's all on surveillance, dude.
Listen, Dusty, you try to do things stupid. The dog's gonna bite you, you
The
understand?
plot thickens.
Look at there. I'm not drunk at all, sir. Sir, man just left my house and tried to murder me down there and light me on fire.
What?
Dusty's behavior would be bizarre from the start, immediately insisting that James tried to set him on fire and that the officers, quote, already know what happened down there. Whether he's trying to claim self-defense or is just completely unhinged is anyone's guess.
Sorry, walk this way, man. Yeah, dude. Sorry, you know what happened down there.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Dude, man tried to light me on fire as I came.
Okay, just listen.
Okay.
We've got one side. Okay. That's why you need to come with us, okay? I know you are.
With the supposed killer in custody, officers concluded the disturbing on-scene investigation and began preparing for interrogation. If Dusty was their killer, given what had been done to the victim's body,
That's some
it
crazy
pointed
shit.
to someone deeply disturbed. That suspicion would soon be confirmed.
Oh no.
By now, Dusty had already raised serious concerns. He had slashed Rick's tent and threatened him. On top of that, multiple witnesses had just reported seeing him argue with James hours before
look
the
like they
murder.
could all be related.
However, despite how clear things seemed, there was one major complication. Dusty was claiming self-defense. He alleged that James had thrown gasoline on him and threatened to set him on fire. This wasn't a claim detectives could easily dismiss, especially given the distinct smell of gasoline at the scene, meaning there was a possibility he could get away with his crime. Even though it's clear who's behind the murder at this point, Dusty's story now carries a shred of credibility. Detectives have one goal: to break that story, either by disproving his self-defense claim using witness statements, or, ideally, by getting a confession. Either way, the investigation is about to get a lot more complicated. To move forward, detectives start by bringing in people from the encampment who knew Dusty well and interacted with him regularly. If Dusty had a pattern of violent behavior, these individuals were the most likely to have seen it firsthand.
My goal here is to kind of get, from your perspective, kind of what you saw, what you heard.
So he ain't really been fucking with me at all. I ain't never had no cross words. He's always insistent, oh, come up there and do your laundry and all that shit, you know. Come up there and get a shower, that's what it was. Come and get a shower, come get a shower all the time. So I fucked up and got a shower and give him $2 afterward, you know, just a gesture.
Rick explains that Dusty often offered showers and laundry to homeless individuals in the area, sometimes charging a small fee. This catches the attention of detectives. These seemingly generous acts may be a part of a larger pattern of manipulation, a way for Dusty to assert control over the homeless community. It's a detail that could support their efforts to build a stronger case against him.
I tried my best to get along with him. You know, he had a shower that we all used, you know, sometimes try to keep him good with him for those reasons and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
Never, my wildest dreams that I think he was capable of murdering, that's the honest truth. I was just over there basically using his necessities like we all were. When we had a chance to, you know, shower, usually offered it. That's his way of making friends with us, I think. I had stayed with him before and he kicked me out. I thought I was in a light, so I was taking pictures of him and stuff like that with my phone. I didn't even have a phone, man. Like I saw you taking pictures of me with the phone. I don't even have the phone. He said, you gotta go. So I left. That's that.
Dusty lives in a house near the homeless camps, a property owned by his grandfather. At first, much like Rick, Busby describes Dusty as someone who seems generous, allowing members of the homeless camp to use his home for basic amenities. As investigators continue interviewing members of the homeless community, a more troubling picture of Dusty begins to emerge. He has a history of strange and violent behavior marked by paranoia and delusions. However, officers face a challenge. The interviews so far have been too vague, highlighting patterns of behavior but lacking concrete details to build a solid case. This leads detectives back to Jamie, the original 911 caller and the person with the clearest recollection of events so far, and he's able to offer meaningful insight into who Dusty really is.
Mr. Allen, my role here in all this, it's just kind of to get from your perspective, your side of things, what you saw, what you observed.
Man came to my camp last night. I used to stay up there with him. He's a violent person.
Okay.
His papa always wanted to let me stay there because he's the one who owns the property. The reason I don't stay there is because you don't do what he says, and he gets all angry and threatens you, and he just crazy shit. I said, well,
What does he usually carry?
He had a stick this time. But he's either got a stick, a machete, or a knife. He carries like 3 or 4 knives on him. Machete, sticks, he's like, he thinks he's Rambo.
While Dusty had a reputation as a bully who routinely harassed the homeless community, no one expected his behavior to escalate to cold-blooded murder. His so-called generosity, offering his home for showers and laundry, masked a deeper need for control and manipulation. The same people he claimed to help were also the ones he intimidated and threatened, revealing a warped sense of power and superiority. In the end, this contradiction may have set the stage for the gruesome murder. When Dusty was brought in for questioning, his demeanor was strangely calm. At this point, he seems to believe that he is seen as a victim of an attack by this homeless man. He didn't seem like he was in his right mind at all. Detectives were hoping to learn about Dusty's side of the story, but instead were met with, well, a lot of nonsense.
Probably on drugs or psychosis or both.
You're what?
Yeah.
You know an owl, right? Okay.
What?
You know what that means, right? Yes, sir, I do. Okay, thank you.
Nigga OVO?
Thank you. This has been a really hard day. Sir, I waived all rights a long time ago. I still have a great sense of innocence within me if it ain't obvious to you this time.
Throughout his interrogation, Dusty's responses are filled with incoherent delusions and deflections. In Dusty's mind, he's, quote, an owl, constantly watched, monitored, and under surveillance. It's clear that without his medication, his schizophrenia is spiraling out of control.
Schizophrenia.
No.
I'm handling remarkably well. Jesus, man, that was some crazy shit, man. And to still be able to get us some usable intel, you know, you'll get why staying at that place is so dangerous for me. I know a lot of trust is getting to me or like that, but man, thank you for saying you'll be able to talk about this.
Dusty seems to believe he's outsmarted the cops, thinking he's there to provide valuable intel as the victim. But he will soon find out that he's actually a suspect in the cold-blooded murder of an innocent man.
I haven't shed a tear all day, you know, and I've been going hard, you know.
What?
I'm so exhausted.
How long have you been doing it?
What, this kind of work? Not very long. That was my first. I think everybody knows that. From the get-go. You know, thank you for this deep psychological support. It's helping a lot. Good.
Listening closely to Dusty's words, it seems as if he's openly admitting to the murder. Although his statement is scattered and unclear, it gives detectives the impression that he's acknowledging responsibility without fully grasping the seriousness of his actions. But Dusty's bizarre admissions wouldn't stop there, as he continues rambling incoherently.
I was brushing and then he throws that gasoline on me because you saw how I was rolled up and down there. Dude, I thought I was just doing it for the other. You know what I mean? Because that was my intention. Everybody knows that. And then managed to...
The cop just nodding.
Right.
Come out like that. I don't know how I do it sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm just experimenting in the house with blades, like before back when I took the butcher knife and threw it in curved on it. Like, I mean, shit, I don't know how I do it, sir. I just know with my beautiful mind that it's a three-way. Yeah. You know, it's the photographic, the audiogenic intake, and then the organic.
Yeah.
You know, if y'all don't ever think I'm so amazed that I'm just like, God. Man, I never thought it would be something like that, but my God, what that thing was.
While Dusty's ramblings could be interpreted as an admission that James was his first murder, the statement is buried in a mix of delusions about retinoids, his photographic memory, and other incoherent claims. The detective picks up on this and pushes further, trying to separate fact from fiction in Dusty's fractured account.
For me to verify everything that I can see elsewhere, I'm trying to... I know you're not mad at me. That's just, I don't want you to think I'm asking questions.
Many others, like, think my personality is, I can't talk to people.
I can do that. Yeah. But I don't want you to think I'm being an absurd.
I am very relieved that we were having this conversation.
Dusty claims he's not mad and that people don't understand how he communicates. This shows he might have a twisted view of himself, possibly because of paranoia, delusions, or mental illness. What's strange is how calm and relieved Dusty seems. Most guilty people would be nervous or scared during an interrogation, but Dusty is different. He seems to still believe he's the victim and doesn't grasp the seriousness of his actions. Instead of taking responsibility, he thinks people just don't understand him. This becomes even clearer when Dusty asks one final question to the detective.
Will I be able to go home?
I'm going to figure that out.
Yeah,
he's dripping.
Am I going to jail or we're going down to dance?
We're going to have to figure that kind of out because you know how this thing kind of goes from here.
I guess.
I'm going to come talk to you about it. Just okay?
After this bizarre exchange, the detective had heard enough to know it was time to wrap up the interrogation. Dusty's lack of remorse and distorted grip on reality made it clear they were dealing with someone who didn't fully understand the weight of his actions. According to the pathology report, the victim, James Leidendecker, was subjected to horrific torture before his death. His body showed severe blunt force trauma, including cuts, bruises, and fractures to his face, nose, ears, and mouth. His eyes had severe bleeding, and many of his teeth were broken. The injuries also extended to his neck, with heavy bleeding in the muscles and a broken hyoid bone, suggesting he had been strangled. His torso displayed several broken ribs, and internal bleeding was found in his chest and abdomen. One of the most disturbing details from the report was that James had been exposed to gasoline. His skin had begun to slough off in areas, and a strong smell of gasoline was found on his arms, thighs, and hands. Gasoline was also detected in his lungs and stomach, indicating he had inhaled and swallowed it before he died. This made the murder even more gruesome. Dusty was processed for forensic evidence and transported to the Leon County Detention Facility. The witness statements, his vague confession, and the forensic evidence from the scene were enough to formally charge him. Dusty McDonald was charged with 1 count of first-degree murder, and as of this video's upload, his case remains ongoing.
He should have been charged with way more than that.
Yo, this shit was wild.
Because he tortured him first.
Yeah.
And even if he is schizophrenic, I'm sorry, but let me just say one thing.
Talk to him.
So everybody always thinks, oh, schizophrenic people are violent or mean or scary, this, that. They do unpredictable things. No, he did that shit because that's what's in his fucking heart to do. He's the evil person. He would probably still do that shit even if he wasn't schizophrenic, because my mom is schizophrenic, and tell him how she talks. Like, doesn't she talk like more incoherent than he does?
Way more.
Way worse than him. And she was spiraling like in her youth when I was growing up. And she's never done no crazy shit like that.
Yeah, this shit is wild, bro.
And she says crazy shit, but she's never done nothing like that, because out of everything she does, it was always just because she loved me and my sisters. Like, all the crazy shit she did, it was out of the love for us. But when somebody does something like that, that's just who they are.
Yeah, this shit is fucked.
Don't ever think that like the schizophrenia is the reason why somebody would do something like that.
Nah.
Like, yeah, schizophrenia, it could confuse your mind and shit, but that's not an excuse for doing something like that.
Yeah, they were already a fucked up person.
Yeah, you already have to be fucked up.
It just enhanced it even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, this shit is crazy. Like, he had gasoline in his lungs. He was butt naked.
Yeah.
It's just damn.
Like, he was just evil as fuck.
This shit was fucked up. This is our first time reacting to this channel. I thought we were gonna get more like a little more clarity on like what the fuck happened. Yeah, he did it, but it's just like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
The nigga was butt naked and all that shit.
Just one charge though.
Yeah, one charge.
Still awaiting trial.
The torture. So that was him that carved that shit into that tree.
I'm guessing.
What the?
Taking advantage of homeless people. How did it?
Hey, when you go like this, like if I hit my head, the AirPod will make the video start.
But taking advantage of homeless people too is just.
Yeah, that's just fucked up.
Honestly, it sounds like he's like a spoiled kid who got his toy taken away.
Yeah.
Just took all his anger out on it. Like.
Damn, dude.
No.
We gonna watch more of this channel because like a lot of these stories is crazy as fuck. Killer wife realizes police found husband dead. Yeah, like this channel has a lot of like crazy ass shit. So
I'm still excited about hitting 15K.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, bro. Look,
thank you guys for letting us hit 15K.
Thank y'all.
I bought a cake and everything.
We appreciate y'all. Thank you for the 15K. Thank you for being here with us on this journey, watching us, growing with us, all that with us.
Hopefully I'll be part-time soon.
Yeah, she's gonna be part-time. She's gonna be
channel. I was supposed to go actually like this month, but what happened was my job denied me. So
earliest that she's gonna go part-time August, huh?
Unless I get a new job,
yeah,
it's gonna have to be August.
Yeah,
I really don't want to wait till August.
I know that sucks, but yeah, we're gonna be very like we keep saying, we're gonna be very consistent soon. Just bear with us, y'all. Just bear with us. We make videos when we can. We love y'all. Thank y'all.
If I could, like, we would just do this full time.
Hell yeah, what the fuck?
If I could, but we
just
don't make enough right now to like pay the bills.
In due time though. In due time, that shit is gonna come in soon.
Yeah,
it's gonna come soon. But the fuck was I about to say? Oh, you guys recommended this channel to us, so don't think we're not looking at the comments, looking at what you guys say. Y'all got some shit y'all want us to react to. I'll definitely look into it. But look, that's the video, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new.
We'll catch you on the
next video.